Is there some music in the background? Ooh. I'm warm.
Good morning. Another week, another application.
You got another application? Oh, I thought you meant like for jobs.
No. I mean to drive this podcast.
Yeah. Just try something else. That's
something
part of
else.
our content. Let's try something.
Watch
us try stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's recording.
Hi, you look crispy. Seems pingy.
I'm down yeah, that's not bad.
A scientific test. Both just like,
right.
oh. Yeah.
I'm down a light.
Oh no.
I took it down for some filming. And
Yeah.
then promptly lost the connector pin somewhere in the shop. And Ricky and I were like running around like, did you see this weird nickel-plated, multi-threaded pin that goes for the light in the office? And he's like, I've never seen one before. And I was like, oh yeah, all right, no light today.
Damn. What are you filming?
My camera. What do you
Can
mean?
you talk about
finally have a new product out today, this
Awesome.
morning. Yeah.
Where's Mariah?
I hope we get taken down because of that. I knew she would love tool holders.
Oh yeah.
Just happen to have one on the desk here, but it's a little guy to hold your tool
Beautiful.
holders that we're calling the tool holder.
Can I see the profile of the tool holder? Look at that funky angle, people.
Right. For
Yeah.
people.
Look, people, look.
Look at the
Are they-
look.
3D printed bushes or
Excuse you.
other?
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
They clip in.
Yep. This is kind of an earlier version, and it's, as we were talking about yesterday, textured here from the textured plate, so they look real professional. This is an older version where we're just smooth plate, and yeah, it's not so great. This is also shop spray painted,
Okay,
not powder
nice.
coated.
Yeah. In the spray booth. Yeah.
Yeah, the spray booth. Yeah, that's just
Does
one of
that
those funny.
Who knows?
Put it out on all of our EDM. I always forget that name.
Cool.
What you call emails, and I'm like, EDM. So yeah, we got a few click-throughs there, and I did, just before we started, put an Instagram post out that I don't think has any traction yet. So
Great.
yeah,
Sweet.
it works for ISO 30 and BT 30, which is basically the exact same tool holder, except for one has a dog. The BT 30 has like drive dogs, so that doesn't affect how it holds at all. So we will likely do other versions for different sizes of machine taper.
Your mill is BT40 or are you 30 on the mill as well?
Cat 40, yeah.
Cat 40.
Which is, I would assume it's got to be close to the same, but yeah, that's what it's called technically. They're way bigger.
Super cool. So for all the router people, I sent it to Johnny straight away and said, let's go. Because our tool crib is a mess at the moment.
Right.
And because when Johnny was away, I moved his workstation onto a better like electric sit stand desk. And so now there's kind of two workstations out there, and one of them's the remnants of the tool collection, and one of them's the actual programming station, and we need to
nice
bring it all back together. And I like the idea of vertical tool storage.
Yeah.
I like
Me
it.
too. There's a lot of options. I mean, there's no innovation in that it's a French cleat, basically, but it works well with a lot of different types of hanging devices. Little keyholes are on the back of it, so you can just hang it up on screws. Or Dylan from Within Tolerance has been kindly testing, and he posted some stories about using it today, which was nice. And he put magnets on the back of his cleat and put it on the side of his mill. And so you can hang it off the magnets, which I thought was smart. And we may offer something like that, but it's obviously very easy to add magnets yourself. So Yeah, it's nice to be able to move them around. Like, when you want to change a bunch of tools at once, like it's hard like to hold them otherwise. So it's kind of like a little beer carrying case for your tool holders.
Awesome. And the slots in the front? Tell me about that feature.
They're for fun.
For fun. Yeah.
I think they're a little bit of a harkening to our pedestals. Yeah, they're for speed.
Yeah.
Lightweighting. I think they kind of harken towards their tool pedestals, have a slot, and it lets you see inside of it. That was kind of the intention for the pedestals, so you could see what the tool actually was. Yeah. And in this case, that's the opposite. You can't see. You see that there's a taper there, but I don't know, just better than a big flat surface. And it's actually nice. Really, we've been testing it. We found it's nice to hang onto it like that, to like grab your fingers into there. And we're using them for packaging, which is kind of weird. Like the packaging tucks into it so that it won't fall apart. We don't have to use tape.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, I know what I'll ask you this weird question. Do you know of any type of fastener that's like we're using tiny M2 screws with tiny M2 nuts to hold these feet in?
Yeah.
Is there such a thing as like a push to fit fastener? Because like holding that screw, we just want to like snap it. It doesn't need to be super tight. It just needs to stay on.
There's push feet, right? Like automotive industry has push everything into a sheet metal hole. I would have thought you could get a little foot that just clips straight in there.
I'm gonna have to look into testing some of those. I've always been a little concerned they'll tear off, but maybe that's crazy.
They're not really under any load, right? You're just taking it
I mean,
off
I suppose
the wall.
if you slid them around a lot.
Whoosh. Yeah.
I don't like my lighting like this. It's gross.
Fluorescent, Justin.
My gross facial hair is very like sparkly almost. Like they're like over sharpening it.
Yeah, you get like
this is good audio content.
Sparkly vampire vibes. Like it.
Right. You just look great.
Like it. Cool. New product. Congratulations. It's exciting.
Thank you.
Very good.
Well, hopefully has some interest from the community.
Yeah, for sure. I dig it. What else is happening?
What's up with you?
Yeah, what's happening? No new products. I had our hot laps yesterday. And I always do a reverse lap now with Sarah, our general manager. So she laps me as well as I do her review and then she does mine, which is always really good. I like doing that. And but one of my KPIs, is launching a new product every
key performance indicators.
Every quarter? Every 6 months. I think it's every 6 months. Anyway, I have not done that.
Right.
And yeah, as we've discussed here, it's just like failing to actually get stuff online and being the bottleneck of the person with the camera and the photos and the videos and all of that.
Right.
It's proving to be troublesome, but yeah. But otherwise, it's good. We had a really good chat. And one of the things that's been coming up lately is like, what the business is, challenging. I feels like there's a new challenge every week or every day. It's like you solve one big thing, right? And then you get 24 hours of plain sailing, and it's like, right, now we've got to fix this problem. And it just feels a bit endless at the moment.
I had that week last week too.
Did you? Yeah. It's tiring, but I was chatting to Laura about it the other night too, and we were talking about product versus custom, and like I did this like what if thought experiment the other day of like, what if we just dropped custom entirely overnight? What would that look like? And went for 100% product-based business. What would happen to our time and resources, and it would be a organizational restructure and blah, blah, blah. Big thing.
Yep.
What does that look like versus like what we're doing at the moment, which is the slow and steady, like let's build up custom. So we've got the revenue to then put back into product development and slowly transition to a more product-based business. And I feel like we've been trying to do that for 10 years. And I'm getting a bit impatient. And I said to Sarah yesterday, I don't want to be in a spot where like another 5 years have elapsed and we're still kind of having this conversation about what I'd like the business to be and the fact that we're not there yet. So, I don't know. Interesting.
It's too fresh yet, I'm sure. That from that conversation to now.
Well, it's just interesting to kind of do the thought experiment of like, yeah, what if we tried to do a rapid transition? What would that look like?
Right.
Because the other thing that's come up sort of lately for me is like when you employ middle management, for want of a better word, and you give people these big roles and you say, go off and do this, you're responsible for all of this. Mm-hmm. It's fantastic. But there's a fine line of like giving people that, letting people sort of step up into that and not micromanaging them, which is good.
Right.
But also, you know, it's your business. So like at some point you want to sort of direct, like I'm responsible for the direction of the business, right? And where we go. And sort of where's that line of like keeping it on track, not stepping on toes, but also just like keeping things flowing in the right direction, and being assertive enough in terms of where we're headed and how we present as a business and all of that without sort of, overstepping on, someone else's role that you've given them. Don't know. Don't have answers, but something I'm sort of struggling a bit with at the moment.
I mean, I've been in the position where it's like, I like want other people to, in the business to give like strong opinions about where we think we should go and not really able to get that, you know, like it's like understandably not what other people think about, you know, at different points, different employees, right? They're not thinking about like what this business should be in 5 years. They're just like, I got to get, you know, these 10 projects made this month or week or whatever it is, and don't get the chance to sit and think about those things, you know, just for feeling that same type of like frustration. So we have pretty open conversations about what could the future look like. And we had, I don't know how much I talked about that here. Stop me if I've covered too much of this, but we did exactly that, where we were doing knack products. Nothing was really like taking off. We thought the knack wall was going to be it for quite a while, obviously, and we used some loan money to develop that and take time off of needing to always be doing a job shop, like your custom work, right? And we did that for months, many months, 6 to 8 months. And strangely enough, which I don't know if I feel pride in that we were churning through great ideas and product development in the knack wall idea. And somehow at the same time, we were like, well, let's make a dust boot. We need to finish this thing so we can better produce. And that sparked suddenly all this interest, and it's very obvious. It's just, that's what we need to follow. It's like, you know, kind of like you hear on those stupid business entrepreneur shows, like we pivoted at this point, you know, like, and it was actually intentional to be doing products. I didn't foresee that it was suddenly going to be that. Like I was always in the back of my mind, like, oh, we could do other CNC related things. So I've definitely been there. I don't know if we would be at this point now if we wouldn't have taken that. It's still, you know, still a risk that we took that on, and we're still transitioning. So
yeah, for sure. I guess the thing about that is that you were in that product development space, and maybe it wasn't the product you expected, but you were giving yourself the space to explore ideas. And you explored a certain path and it was like, oh, this is a thing. Cool.
Right. It's not the product we wanted, it's the product we deserve.
Yeah. Whereas I feel like we're so chock-a-block at the moment. Everyone's working so damn hard and there's not much space. There's no breathing room at the moment. And maybe we're just battling with a few particular jobs that are sort of taking up too much headspace or too much room for everyone. And maybe this will just clear in a month and I won't think anything else of it. But I feel like everyone's kind of so full that there's not much capacity to sort of explore ideas, or even even the comments of the lunchtime product conversations have evaporated at the moment because everyone's just a bit stressed and a bit sort of stretched too thin.
Right.
Whereas we go through periods where we're more relaxed and everyone's got a bit more headspace, and then those conversations start to just naturally bubble up again of like, oh, what if we could make a thing like this? Or blah, 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 and, the little sketches appear on the lunch table and kick around. And they don't necessarily go anywhere, but it's kind of that sort of creative environment, is percolating.
Yep. Sort of
running parallel to whatever the sort of custom work we're doing at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, a few things to work out, but good to be thinking about.
I don't know. I mean, maybe you can figure that out. I could not figure it out. And I think it's interesting to hear you say that to describe the same problem, but I always felt like there just was no way at one point we had 4 people and 2 of them were part-time at the kind of peak of like job shop work and also doing a minimum amount of product things at the same time. And I just, I think maybe because you and I maybe drive most of the product development things, that in my perspective, I just had no bandwidth left to be doing creative things. And so I don't know how we would have gotten to, I'd say now we're probably 60 to 80% of our revenue is product related. So I'd say it's working, which is nice, but obviously everything has ups and downs. And I mean, what was really strange out of that whole thing was just intentionally turning down any job work that came in, which just felt like, well, this is career suicide for sure. Right.
Yeah.
There's a few years of trying. It's like a doctor, right? Like, I'm going to do creative doctoring now, like instead of just taking what comes in, I'm going to start painting instead of taking patients.
A whole lot of mid-journey prompts just ran through my mind when you said creative doctoring.
Creative doctoring. I did some pretty good salsa dancing woodworkers yesterday.
Yeah. And I think as I become a bit more impatient, I'm sort of, there's more, I wouldn't say career suicide, but I would say sort of escapist notions are occurring to me of like more dramatic solutions keep rolling around in my head.
Right. One quick other thought I had related to your, I'm sure you've thought of this, but with the amount of people you have, is it feasible that you pair off 2 people? Maybe there's one person that's dedicated to doing products and they can pull in other part-time people and they have space to work on things too, but they're driving product development continuously rather than everybody having a little bit of time to do it. Like, is there somebody that can be responsible for something, like that keeps it going, if that's part of the goal? I don't know if that's a great solution. It's definitely safer than ripping the custom Band-Aid off and just going cold turkey.
No, look, to be fair, we do have a plan in place. I'm just getting impatient, I suppose. Sure. We've got a plan in place to start getting me out of sales. Not entirely, but like to free up a lot of my time there.
Right.
We've got a plan in place to potentially change up sort of design department a little bit and get to a point where a big chunk of that can be product development. So yeah, it's just slow burn. I'm just a bit tired of the slow burn right now, but
yeah, there's something to that too. I mean, I was talking with somebody that came to visit recently. I won't say their name, but we were having the same, because I didn't ask to share this necessarily, but we're having the same conversation basically.
Sorry, I just saw your salsa dancing woodworkers.
I was like, well, I didn't think it was that funny. Right. Salsa dancing woodworkers.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Right. It's very sultry. Very beardy. Having the same conversation basically of like, they have a lot of very similar business to us and got driven into we just need to drop in some salsa music right here. Driven into, sucked into, pulled into some seemingly lucrative other types of woodworking. Had a decently a product business and they can't get back to developing new products because they're constantly now in the cycle of growth of the team to do a certain type of thing. But now you're kind of stuck with like, we got to keep doing the certain type of thing. And the products are, you know, especially up front, are no revenue and getting to that place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So I feel like we've kind of done that. Like we've tooled up in the sense of our systems and staff. We've really tooled up to service like all this custom work and the complexities of custom work. And yeah, I'm sort of pondering the alternatives to that, I suppose.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that Midjourney or DALL-E 3?
That was DALL-E through ChatGPT. It's super fast. And it like, I typed it on like a very simple string that was like two men dancing salsa while also woodworking, and it like expanded it into like interpreting what I wanted to give it way more detail, which was interesting. And then in the chat thread, it gave me options of images, and they were great.
Yeah, right.
It's in that little drop down thing when you hover over GPT-4.
I've done that, but it just gives me text output.
Really?
I haven't actually worked out how to drive it. No, I've got DALL-E 3 turned on in the chat, but it just generates text. And it's like, oh, okay. Why won't you make an image?
Oh, mine just, when I select that, I just...
Oh, you have to tell it to make the image, right? Okay.
I don't. We'll see if it works again. It says it's creating DALL-E 3 images.
Yeah, mine's doing that now, but it initially it just spat out 4 different prompts. But then it was waiting for me to select which prompt to render.
Oh, maybe it was just interesting.
I did legitimately use the GPT Vision yesterday. Laura was on site measuring up a job, sculpture commission in the city, and she'd taken our Leica laser measure.
Okay.
She sent me a photo of the error message on the Leica. I was like, it's not working. What does this mean? And I just dropped the photo into GPT.
Wow.
I was like,
I haven't done that yet.
What's this? What does this mean? I was like, oh, it looks like you've got the Leica disto, blah, blah. That looks like blah, 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 blah. And gave me like error things and what the issue might be. I was like, thanks,
so
mate.
just under default, under GPT-4, you just drop an image in.
Drag an image straight in.
Wow. I haven't done that yet. Fun.
Robot's got eyes. Pretty wild.
Make it taller.
So interesting. I just did the same, well, maybe not the same prompt, but the same keywords, salsa dancing woodworkers. And it looks like pretty much the same censored workshop. It's pulled the same workshop as the base image.
It was like, oh, I've already done this.
I've done
There's
this.
There's a guy in America who has the same taste. You know, Rule 34.
Funny.
I find it incredibly. I'm just used to this kind of chatting now. It's simple. Like I don't have to go into another field. Let me just chat and get my images in the same place.
Yeah, it's pretty well.
Oh,
it's cool.
Yours is way more diverse than mine is.
You did write Nick Offerman clones dancing in a wood shop, though, didn't you?
Basically,
it's part of your prompt.
One looks like a really beefy Leo Messi. Like he's like kind of stout.
Oh yes, the
Messi,
visual
the
podcast
woodworker
strikes again. Yeah. Other news at my end is that I have seemed to have cracked the early morning game again, which is nice. I've been reliably getting up for playtime. Got playtime pegged in my default diary from like 6 till 7 every morning. That's been fun.
Nice.
Tinkering away. Yeah. Kind of doing product dev-ish stuff, but kind of trying not to put any pressure on myself and just allow it to be free play. Mm-hmm. Like, what do I feel like making this morning? I've made a few little things for home, like I made a coat rack this week. It was better than the one on Portlandia. It was like a real solid one fixed to the wall. And last week I made a shoe rack for home. And so I've just been doing, kind of little home improvement things, but it means like I'm playing on the tools and fiddling with the pencil sharpener and making stuff. So it's been nice.
You're just smart. That's what I should be doing. That would make me a very popular person at home.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice to actually make some progress at home, to be honest. Things are looking a bit more organized just from a few early mornings. So
yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah,
you got a deadline, man. You got a real deadline.
I got to make more cabinets here soon. I got a hallway mudroom organization it's still using that space. Was where the kitchen like appliances were, kind of like the sink and the stove were there, and we just kept the cabinet that used to have the stove in it in the hallway, and we're putting crap in it now, so it doesn't fit at all. And there's like a weird kitchen table next to it, like a prep table, and like a weird bench, and it's just like the other side of the construction mess. And we're finally this weekend, we're like, oh, we should finish that cabinet that's supposed to go there.
Finishing cabinets on the weekend. Yep.
Right.
That's my current vibe as well.
But...
Yeah.
You have a power solution.
Nah. Didn't fix it. Still didn't fix it. I put in the Octopod power filter last week into the pencil sharpener, and I just did a janky sort of temporary setup where it was wired in line between the Makitas and the contactors, and it seemed to reduce the screen interference anecdotally, like the little flicker seemed to disappear.
Just
fainter, yeah. Which is a good sign, but it didn't. Johnny and I sort of tracked it for the best part of a day, and it still threw a bunch of USB errors and paused the machine seemingly at a similar frequency. So pulled that out, and then we did the spindles off test, where turned all the spindles off and ran the same cycle, and it still threw up USB errors. So that means the contactors themselves or something else further down the line is causing the interference. I think, because that kind of removes the spindles from the equation completely. Or they both could be doing it. That's the other annoying thing. It's like could be the same from multiple sources, but yeah.
So like a person, you can pay like $500 to just come for a day, half a day, maybe $1,000.
Maybe
just fix it. I never do those kind of things. I just struggle through that myself until 3 months later I'm finally like, somebody will message me and be like, "Oh, I listened to that podcast, and you should do this," and I never actually figure it out. And they just tell me how to fix it.
I'm in that boat. Look, I think someone like my cousin would be the best. I need to get him in to look at it,
right.
Scratch around. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, did we talk about that already?
What?
Vectorworks, I think, came out like right after we did the last one.
Oh yeah, that was after the last recording.
That was great. I was expecting it to be a little less polished, I think. Less rendered. I thought it would be it was way better. I didn't think it was going to be bad by any means. I thought it would be more like less material mapped and like shaded than it was. It was nice. It's like really felt good.
Yeah, it's looking really good. So yeah, that was the night after we recorded last week at that meeting with the Finns. And they walked me through where it's up to. And yeah, it's looking good. There's a few quirky things, which I know. First take on the build, so I'm not too worried. We'll be able to iron out the kinks. But like there's some quirks to the interface at the moment, which are a bit odd. Like you kind of have to pre-select how big a set you want to make, and then that kind of defines the extent of the grid. But I think the workaround, we might be able to get rid of that completely, or the workaround will be, which could be nice, is you sort of, as a customer coming there for the first time, you're like, it prompts you and says, how big is the space you've got to work with? You go, oh, I've got a wall that's about 3 meters by 3 meters, and then it goes bloop and populates a wall surface.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can free play within that sort of environment.
Right.
So yeah, a few user interface sort of decisions to make, but it's looking really promising.
Will you be able to build something, remove some stuff, add some stuff, build some, or is it like one way? Like you got to keep building and you can't go backwards? I think I saw you remove some stuff.
Yeah, you can remove components. Yep.
That's nice.
And you can start from clean slate, or we'll be able to have all our standard kits pre-built as starting points as well. So you can drop in a starting point and then start pulling it apart or adding to it. Yeah, depending on what you want to do.
Very nice.
Yeah. Feeling good.
Profit. I didn't sleep a whole lot the last couple of nights. So.
No, really? I could tell you were up very late last night when I was messaging you about the bloody textured plate on the bamboo. I had to check my world time. I was like, Justin, go to bed.
No, you woke me up. No.
Naughty.
No. It doesn't go off. I think, I don't know what I was doing. It was something. Finishing setting a email or something, I forget. I was just finally I gotta get this thing out. I am so tired of dragging on another week because I haven't sent out, published this new product. I was like a few details, so I made that video yesterday and email, and that's been the solution since I was 19. Just stay up late and finish it. Hopefully maybe this child will change me.
Oh, it changed me. I can't stay up late anymore.
Ricky was up. He had an unfortunate scenario over the weekend, but he came in a little bit late on Monday morning. He was like, I don't think I've had an all-nighter since college. And I don't do well with them anymore. Some of my frustration last week, and also why we didn't get a product out last week, was Monday, I come in to print a slightly modified dust boot. We haven't changed the port that we print in a long time. And I basically very minorly thickened 2 areas for a little more strength. And the rest of the week, we chased the bamboo into... it's still not fixed. I've replaced many parts.
Man.
There's something goofy with it right now that I cannot figure out. I'm still waiting. It's now day 3. The bamboo hasn't written back to me yet of a support ticket. I went on the forum and asked, which was always, and it always seems like a forum will get you. There's some nice people that gave me some suggestions, but none of them worked. It just suddenly started printing poorly. Like, in particular, like we've had the same recipe and settings for the dust boot part for like since the last time I complained about the weather changing. Basically, that was not the printer, that was the weather. Tried to modify some of the settings, nothing. So after about 3 days, I was like, all right, let's go to PLA and see if that fixes it. And it was like some of the worst PLA prints I've ever seen of any printer.
Wow.
Just junk. This is bamboo PLA too. This is a fixture too.
What's going on?
Laser engrave the bottom of these things. So I still don't know. I've replaced the nozzle, the extruder assembly. We've changed all the Bowden tubes. We've removed the MS. We've changed all the connections. What was the other thing? I found a tiny sliver of PETG stuck in the sensor, but we changed all that out and it's still printing junk. If you print really slowly, it works all right. As soon as you go to full speed, it does this. So like the bottom will look stellar. And as soon as it speeds up, so we've done like half speed printing and it's a little bit better. Like for some like crucial, just like stuff we needed to get done for the moment.
Have you done the
shippable
flow dynamics calibration stuff?
I did it. Somebody suggested to do it manually. I did it 3 different ways, 3 different settings. Still junk.
No. Damn
so
it.
I don't know. The only thing I'm waiting on currently that we have any thought to of our own is the extruder motor could potentially be going and it can't handle printing anymore, or potentially the belts are stripped somewhat, which we haven't touched, but I don't know. I got nothing, and I've been like wanting to buy another one of these damn printers for so long, and I still haven't, but it's gonna happen soon because I don't know. When it's down, we just like there's so many things that we rely on it for now.
Yeah.
That's been fun.
Frustrating.
Yeah. Always a little something. Printers.
Always. Oh, the bamboo is doing so well. So reliable.
It's done. Like, I still have fondness for it, but it is interesting. Like, part of the thing I've been thinking about a lot in the last week is, I hadn't re-sliced the dust boot part in a long time. And when I did with the same settings, it was faster, which was interesting to me. And I was like, why is it faster? It added material minorly. It was like half an hour faster. And the print
was faster. Okay.
So they had announced that you'll see some speed increases. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But then I was thinking, I feel like I'm getting gaslit now. Like there's so many things that could have changed that I don't even know what to chase anymore. Is it hardware? Is it software? Is it wet filament that needs to be? It's just like I felt crazy all week. I still don't feel great, but I kind of just focused on something else for a while and waiting for parts to come, I guess.
So many variables.
Right.
Gosh. Yeah, that's like, I've been super happy with Laura's bamboo. It's been great. But, I do have my concerns even before I heard about your issues. Like, I've got my concerns of just how, when you've got something that's that high performance and can go that fast, like at some point something's gonna break. And like
massive backlash or that you just suddenly comes in. I mean, so on we need a little sounder for bamboo or just printer tech. They quietly announced a new version of the X1 that's like for corporations that have let's say more secure practices, basically. So it's like it's a Bamboo Lab X1E for professionals and engineering applications. But basically, it's got a very minor change to how it has better filtration for VOCs, and it's got HEPA H12, an active heating chamber, can do a little bit higher temp. And I think other than that, it's got more secure, enhanced and more secure options, stable Ethernet connection, WPA2 enterprise authentication. So it's got like more secure Wi-Fi, but it's $2,500.
Yeah.
It's really not a huge change, but I think that security will be a big factor for some corporations that just are like, yeah, no, we cannot use your basic, Internet of Things connections here.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's smart of them. Basically, they're just slapping a few very minor changes on. Like that Wi-Fi chip's probably like what, $2 more or something, and then that nick for $5 and charge $1,000 more. Good move.
Yeah. Well played. Well, I hope you get it resolved quickly. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, me too. The other thing, just for another gripe, like the support's pretty dang slow. I've had that experience before. It took almost a week for them to get back to me one time. But then, like, when you need parts, like, even if I know the part I want to order, they don't have any other shipping speeds than standard. So, like, you just gotta wait for their super slow shipping to arrive. And, like, that's just a weird... Like, I can get parts from Prusa here faster than I can from... And they don't exist in the United States typically.
Yeah.
When I need to, they come from overseas, and it's just not great. So you basically just got to do the like I had a ton of parts already. I didn't have the extruder motor. I was kind of somewhat prepared for this, and it just still bit me. So I don't know. Bar lessons.
Yeah. Cool. What you doing now?
I don't even know. I don't know. Maybe. Well, I don't know what I can do with the printer. So marketing maybe, and probably catching up on all my emails that I've not done the last day while I was finishing the product.
Cool.
Launch. You?
Or I'll go and scratch around for half an hour in the workshop before the others start, and then get into quotes. Got lots of quotes to catch up on today.
Yeah, I know that feeling. All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Cool, man. Let's do it. Thanks. Bye.
What?
What's going to happen to these files? Where will they go? Straight into the script?
Did you hear those sounds at all?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought maybe it wasn't working. Okay.
Boom.
We shall find out if I push stop. Are we just done talking?
I don't know. Goodbye.
Stop recording.